previously shown you how to make wontons, fruit wontons for a dessert. I think I showed you apple. But since then, I have discovered a couple of new ways to make them that are really tasty, especially the cherry ones. And they really come out like tarts, or mini pies. The other one I'm going to show you is pumpkin. So I make them with egg roll wrappers. You can buy egg roll wrappers that already come in the smaller squares, but I noticed today that they were more expensive. So I buy the whole ones and then I cut them in half and in half again so that I end up with a pile of smaller squares. And these will go in the mini muffin tin. So you place this in the mini muffin tin and then you put your filling in and then you fold them over and you bake them. I have my oven heating 350, 375. Got to know your own oven and watch the wontons so that they cook and don't burn, but you don't want them to be raw either. If this isn't your first video, then you know that I have a crazy stove, so you just have to judge it on your own stove. So I came across sugar-free, here it is, sugar-free cherry pie filling, and I've seen it in a couple of different brands. This one is Comstock. So it's no sugar added cherry pie filling, but it has Splenda in it. And the first time I used the no sugar added pie filling was when I saw the apple, because I made the apple ones usually with fresh apple. And I forgot that it had Splenda in it, and I added more Splenda. So they were super sweet, but my friend loved them. A friend loved them. So when I made the cherry ones the other day, I knew it had Splenda, but I added a little more anyway. And when I tasted it, it was like, oh my gosh, it was so good. It was so good, I decided I had to make a video about it. So you don't have to add more Splenda. They're sweet enough. You might try it both ways. I'm also making pumpkin ones. I don't know if I should tell you at the same time. So I have just under 2 cups of cherries in here, and they need to be, I prefer to puree them. Not too liquid, just a little bit. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, so I'm going to add not even, like 1/8 of a cup. Not even, just a splash. Not even, hardly any. Splenda. But over here, I have a whole cup of pumpkin. I had to buy organic again because they were out of regular pumpkin filling. Now, pumpkin pie filling, usually we buy Libby's, right? I think that's what it is. And it looks a little different. I don't know why. But I have a cup of the pumpkin here, and that has no sugar. So I'm using about a quarter cup of the Splenda in my pumpkin. It also needs some spices because they're going to taste like mini pumpkin pies. So some cinnamon, shaky, shaky, I don't know how much, and ground cloves. So pumpkin, Splenda, cinnamon, ground cloves. Cherries with Splenda if you want. That's it. Except when I made the pumpkin wontons the other day, I just thought that I wasn't comfortable with the texture. I don't know why. Just an intuitive sort of thing. So I added a little bit of loose oat bran, as if, adding, I don't know, like flour. I don't know. I just wanted to give it some kind of more texture. So I'm going to mix that up good and puree this. I have this device. I've shown you this before, I think. Oh yeah, when I made the cherry muffins. It's the same cherries from the video with the cherry muffins. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm just making them so that they're not whole cherries anymore. But I don't want to overdo it, so once I take care of all the whole cherries, then I'll sure how I'm going to handle that. One. I think I'm going to turn the camera out to figure it out. Camera off to figure it out. But then you have your mini tins, mini muffin tin. Just spray it lightly with your non-fat butter flavored spray. Take your room temperature, they're easy to deal with at the room temperature wrappers, and just fold them in like that. Here's where the cameraman would move in, should I have one. Then you're going to take a spoon and just spoon in your filling. So I'm stirring that up. And this is, you know, like a teaspoon if you were drinking iced tea. Take a nice heaping teaspoon, plop it in there. Ah! I don't know how many of these I make. I just guessed the other day that they probably have 30 calories each, but maybe I can figure it out. So that's how you do them, and then you just fold them in. Now turn the camera off and play with my pumpkin. Then I'll tell you what I did with it. Okay. I ended up with 14 cherry wontons. That's just the way it worked out. And so they'll have 25 calories each, which is like nothing. And for my pumpkin, I just stirred it up really well with a fork. And now I'm going to teaspoon pumpkin into the wontons as well. And I'm going to bring the camera over for that. And then I'm going to bake them. I'll bake them for 15 minutes and check them. You need to check the bottoms and the tops and know your oven, and you want them to get a golden color. Don't cook them too much because you want to warm them before you serve them, and you don't want them to be crunchy. But you don't want them to be soggy either. So you just have to watch them, and maybe make them more than once. At a party that you have, and then you can tell people who are being mindful of their intake, you know, instead of eating the brownie over there, if you have one of these, then it only has, you know, 25 calories. Or if you have a couple, you could have 4 of them, and it would only be 100 calories. So that's pretty cool. Okay, hold on. Okay, I think I have the camera adjusted. I'll just show you a couple of these. So just a teaspoon, just like we did with just like I did with the cherries. Except the cherries come off the spoon a lot easier. And you can see how I just fold the wonton corners in afterwards. I think I don't have enough pumpkin to fill it. Well, maybe. No. I think not. You're out of here. So, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ended up with 9 pumpkins. And then just tuck them in. Like that. You can see I had extra cherry. I just went ahead and put some on the top of them as well. And it's probably a good idea to do one tray with pumpkin and another tray with cherry, because they might not cook at the same, might not cook in the same time frame. But oh well, for me. All right, I will show you them when they're done. Time to check them. There's also pumpkin cake in there. All these parties I just have to cook. Okay, aren't they looking pretty? So what you have to do, there's the pumpkin ones in the back, is watch the tops and the bottoms. So you can peek at them. So you don't want them to get, see that one's starting to get brown. And you don't want the tops or the bottoms to get too crunchy. Ouch! I think mine are about ready to come out. I might leave them in 1 more minute and then take them out. Lastly, here they are out of the oven, and I will just let them sit for a couple minutes, and then I will dump them out of the mini muffin pan and let them cool. 25 calories for each little wonton. Pretty awesome.